He spent 28 years enforcing the law, uncovering lies, putting criminals behind bars. But when his own son hit someone and left him for dead, this detective made a decision that would destroy everything he stood for. He thought his badge could protect him. He thought no one would look too closely. But justice doesn't forget. This is the haunting story of Detective Raymond Doyle, the night he chose blood over badge, and how the truth caught up with him anyway. It was 1:13 a.m. on a rainy October night in Brookdale, Washington. 18-year-old Eli Doyle was driving home from a house party, intoxicated, emotional, and angry after a fight with his girlfriend. Surveillance cameras from a gas station caught Eli's gray Dodge Charger swerving at high speed down Maple Avenue. Moments later, a loud thud, then the squeal of brakes. But Eli never stopped. 3 blocks away, a 911 call came in. There's a body in the street. She's not moving. I think she was hit. The victim was Natalie Ruiz, a 19-year-old college student walking home from her shift at a local diner. She had just texted her mom, off work, be home in 20. She never made it. Back at home, Eli panicked. There was a dent in the hood, blood on the windshield. His hands were shaking. So he did the one thing he'd been taught his whole life. Call Dad. Detective Raymond Doyle had served on the Brookdale PD for nearly 3 decades. He was known as sharp, hard-nosed, and deeply respected. But in that moment, he wasn't a cop. He was a father. Raymond rushed to the garage. He didn't ask questions. He didn't wait. He wiped the bumper, cleaned the windshield, and drove the car to a friend's salvage yard just outside town. He told Eli, "Say you were home all night. Let me handle it." Natalie Ruiz's family was devastated. Her mother, Clara, refused to let the case fade. She posted flyers, spoke at City Hall, held a vigil every Friday night at the corner where her daughter died. But for weeks, nothing happened. No suspects, no leads, no arrest, until an anonymous tip changed everything. 32 days after the crash, a handwritten envelope arrived at the Brookdale PD's Internal Affairs Department. Inside was a photo of a dented gray Dodge Charger with the license plate barely visible, and a note asked Detective Doyle where his son was that night. The photo had been taken at the salvage yard before the car was scrapped. The tipster? Never identified. But now, everything changed. IA quietly launched an investigation. They pulled GPS logs, surveillance tapes, and phone records. The big find? Eli Doyle's phone pinged near the crash site at 1:12 a.m., exactly 1 minute before the 911 call. His alibi? That he was home playing video games. But Wi-Fi router logs showed no internet activity from his device during that time. Then came the biggest break. A traffic camera 2 blocks away caught a blurred image of the Dodge Charger, and the badge on the windshield belonged to a law enforcement family member pass, registered to Detective Raymond Doyle. Raymond was brought in for questioning. At first, he denied everything, said he didn't know what happened, said his son was innocent. But when shown the photo from the salvage yard, he froze. "You're twisting this," he said. "You don't understand. I was protecting my family." Eventually, he admitted to disposing of the car, wiping the scene and telling Eli to keep quiet. But he insisted. "I didn't tell him to run. I didn't hit her. I didn't kill that girl." In February, 4 months after the crash, both Eli Doyle and Detective Raymond Doyle were arrested. Eli was charged with vehicular manslaughter, leaving the scene of an accident, driving under the influence. Raymond was charged with obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, abuse of public office. Brookdale was shaken. One of their most trusted officers, caught helping his son cover up a death. The courtroom was packed. Natalie's mother sat in the front row every day. The prosecution painted Eli as reckless and entitled, and Raymond as a man who let his badge become a shield for wrongdoing. The defense argued that Raymond acted out of panic, not malice, a father trying to protect his son from a mistake. But the jury didn't buy it. After a 4-week trial, the jury returned its verdict. Eli Doyle was found guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison. Detective Raymond Doyle was also found guilty. He was sentenced to 5 years behind bars and stripped of his pension. The judge called his actions a betrayal of the very justice system he swore to uphold. Natalie's family was left with a hole in their lives, but they never stopped speaking her name. A small memorial now stands at the crash site, a bench with her name engraved. Justice may be delayed, but never denied. Raymond Doyle was released after serving 3 years. He now lives quietly in a cabin outside Spokane. He's never spoken publicly about the case. Eli remains behind bars, now 24. According to prison records, he's enrolled in addiction recovery and counseling programs. When the people we love make mistakes, our instinct is to protect them. But justice doesn't bend for badges or blood. Detective Raymond Doyle thought he could bury the truth, but the road always remembers, and justice always finds its way.